Hi, this is Vicki Romaine with Cheerful Greetings, and today I'm going to show you 3 different ways you can foil. I'm going to be using some products made by ThermoWeb. They are marketed through 3 designers that I know of, Gina K Designs, iCraft, and Unity. What I'm going to do is show you different ways that I've used these products. Now, if you would look at the samples that I have here, I have a gold butterfly. It's all in gold. And I have some little blue flowers here. And it kind of depends on how you tilt your cardstock as to how it works. I have a pattern here that's that's been done in multicolored, and so I think that turned out really pretty. It's a paisley design, which is usually multicolors anyway, and the foil just helps it out. I have a piece of green stalk there that I'm going to put with it and actually make a card. But first I want to show you 3 ways of using various products to do your foiling. Here is a design that I chose to use today, and it's nothing but leaves. So being leaves, I thought I would foil it in green. Another purpose in doing this particular tutorial is to show you that you can do things while you're out camping, bringing only a few items to craft with. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm outside at a campground. Okay, I have my piece here, and I am going to cut me a piece of foil just about the size of my design. I don't have a ruler with me, so I'm just putting the design on top of the foil and taking my scissors and cutting me a piece. And the rest of it I put in a nearby bucket that I brought with me, as it has all of my laminating supplies. My piece of foil seems to fit my design here. That was a pretty good measurement, not using a ruler. So let's see what we have to do next. I know a lot of people who like to put the foiling and the item to be foiled directly into the laminator without putting anything around it. I'm always afraid that my item will get hung into the laminator and mess up my machine. I did have it get hung one time, and my husband had to take it apart, and he threatened me with ever doing it again. A carrier could be a number of things: a piece of cardstock, a file folder, copy paper, or just a plain sheet of writing paper. In this particular case, I'm going to use a piece of copy paper because that's basically what I have with me. I really like using a file folder or part of a file folder. I'm putting my design in the foil inside the carrier, just like I want it to stay, and then I'm going to fold the top part down over it. When I put it in the laminator, I'm going to put the left-hand corner that has the fold in first, and then let it go automatically through the laminator. This will prevent it from tangling up. Once you have started your design through the machine, you don't have to do anything. It will feed itself automatically. In the meantime, while mine is going through the machine, I'm going to finish up this card. Here's the paisley that I have in multicolors, and I have cut the one piece off, and I can use it at a later date to make it as a strip on another card. So I have a mat that is green, and it's 4 by 5 1/4. Now my design, the one I'm putting glue on here, is 3 3/4 by 5. I like using a mat. I think it makes the design pop. So we'll put this on the green, and you have a lot of the green showing around the design. My design has been through the machine or the laminator, and I did it fairly soon after I had turned the machine on, so I'm letting it go through the second time to make sure the foil adheres to my design. I don't do this very often. There's no need to, just when you feel like the machine is not hot enough. So let's finish up this card now while it's going through the second time. I have my design with the green around it on a white card. Now let's see what we have. A beautiful green leafed card here, and it's really shiny. We'll put that aside for a moment. Now, to finish up my card, as you can tell, I'm going back and forth here. To finish up my card, I want some words on it. And if you notice, that green would do great as a mat around this one I just laminated. What I'm looking for is my sentiment, which is the word hello. And I can either put it in the corner, but I think I'll put it in the center. The glue that I'm using is Aleene's Turbo Glue, but I have put it in a small bottle. I find that if I put it in a small squeeze bottle, I can get the glue out much easier than if it's in that brown or gold bottle that it comes in. Now I think this looks nice, and what you have seen me do is foil up one piece and make a card out of another one that I had foiled previously. Now the second technique we're going to do is I'm going to use a die cut, and I've got the word here, a hello again, and I'm going to cut another one out. I'm using my Big Shot to run this through. I've kind of got all my stuff right here on top of each other. As I have said before, I'm outside and I'm trying to keep it all together in case a big puff of wind comes up all of a sudden and I'm not able to salvage all my pieces. So we have the hello written out once, and I ran my die through the machine to get a second hello. What I'm doing now is putting some glue on one of the two hellos, and I'm going to put the other one on top of it. In other words, I'm going to make my sentiment double. The letters are too small to put a dimensional under it, so what I'm doing is gluing one on top of the other. And I want to make sure the letters match up. I do not want there to be a shadow or anything. So I'm squeezing and pushing the letters around so that they will be on top of each other. Next, I'm taking a piece of toner paper. This toner paper is also made by ThermoWeb. And what it is a black sheet of paper that has, I guess, toner on it. In any case, I'm cutting a little piece off about the size of my hello. I'm leaving the paper inside the package so the wind won't get into it. So I'm just cutting a little piece off. Now I'm putting my die cut on top of it, and I'm going to run it through my Xyron. I'm using my little pricker to clean out the holes and to make it pop away from the die cut. Now I have my sentiment written in black, but I don't want black. I want to do something else. What I'm doing now is putting my little word inside my carrier, and I'm going to reach into my box that holds all my laminating supplies, and I'm going to find a scrap piece. I save my scraps for things like words and just small images. So I should have a piece of scrap in here somewhere. I found a scrap here. It has where I had some words cut out, and I think it's going to be big enough for my sentiment. So what I'm doing is cutting the piece off. Again, I have my sentiment inside my carrier, and I'm putting my foil on top of it, and then I'm going to cover it, and hopefully it hasn't moved. I'm running it through my laminator now. Let's see what we have here. We'll take the foil off, and there's my hello. Isn't that pretty? Now, let's see. I'm going to take these die cut flowers, and I'm going to cut me a piece of the toner paper, which I have here again. And this time I'm not going to separate the dies. I'm just going to use them like they are. And I am cutting a piece of the toner paper the size of those 6 dies. I think they all will fit on there. I'm going to put a plastic on top here, and I'm going to run this through my Big Shot. I actually ran the toner sheet with the dies on it through the Big Shot twice, so it would cut all the way through. It didn't seem to cut completely with one pass. So I am popping these flowers out. I think I'm only going to use 3, so we'll pick 3 of these and see what I can come up with. Now, a third way, while I talk why I do this, I want to mention a third way that you can do your foiling, and I'm not going to do that today because my printer is not a laser printer, and I'm not at home to use my daughter's. So, but I do want you to know that there is a third way. You can get a design off the internet, or maybe something you have at home that you have a design, and copy it on a laser. Now make sure it's a copy-free design. You can copy it on your laser and print it out, and then you're using toner from the laser machine. Therefore, the foiling will work. I personally have a inkjet machine, and so it will not work. But what I do do is I make my copy from the pattern that I choose, and then I take that copy to my daughter's machine and Xerox it. That way I have a design that has been made with a toner machine. Okay, let's get back with our 3 flowers that we are working with here. I'm trying to decide what colors I'm going to put on my flowers. I think I'm going to go with a gold, a purple, and maybe a red. I want to make each one a different color. So what I'm doing is cutting a small piece. And here again, if you save some of your leftover pieces of your foiling, you can use it in this manner, because you can see that it doesn't take much to cover one of these flowers. However, I've used up most of my leftover scraps, so I'm having to cut a few out, little squares for myself. I think I'm going to go with this blue. I haven't used this blue lately. So I'm putting my, excuse me, I'm putting my foiling over the 3 flowers and running it through the laminator. As you can see, it doesn't take much in supplies to do this tutorial. And it's something that you can take while traveling. I have all my supplies for this particular tutorial in one little box. And then, of course, I have the laminator and the Big Shot separate. But it doesn't take much, and it's easy to do on a picnic table. I'm even using my plastic tablecloth that I had with us. Remember, I made a hello in a multicolored foil. Well, what I'm doing now is putting it on top of the double layered hello that I had made previously out of white cardstock. And I've put glue on it, and I'm trying to line it up so the white underneath doesn't show. Now, when I put this on a card, you will see that it sticks up nicely and shows much better than if it were just layered foil. I just love opening up my carrier and seeing what surprise lies inside. So let's take our foil off our flowers and see what we have here. Here's my purple one, there's my yellow, I'll go, and there's my blue flower. Now, there must be a way we can use these. So let's see what we can do. If you look closely at the gold flower, you'll see that one of the spikes is missing. That doesn't bother me because that's the perfect place to put my stem. I could redo it, but I'd probably end up cutting that spike off anyway. So I'm just putting my flowers on there and trying to arrange them like I want. Okay, keep in mind that I have limited supplies with me, so I'm going to be using this gel pen to make some sort of stem and leaves. You can tell after I finish this, or well, probably before I finish this, that I am not artistically inclined. I may have an idea of what I want, but something happens when it goes from the brain to the hand. Something just does not jive. But I'm trying, so we're going to see what we're going to do about putting some stems on these flowers on the card. I'm checking to make sure they're glued down good. Since the flowers make the card top heavy, I'm going to put the hello, which has been made from 3 layers of cardstock, at the bottom, and that will kind of balance everything out. I will probably come back now and just do a little touch up on my leaves and stems, but basically this card is finished. This is third way of using foil, and that's to put it on a die cut which has been made from a toner sheet. So let's go over it again. Number 1 is to use a design which is pre-printed on a sheet commercially. Secondly, use a laser printer to print a design that you might have from the internet. Thirdly, take your die cut and cut it from a piece of toner sheet and put the foil on it. Here are the samples for today, and as you can tell, the possibilities are endless. You have your overall pattern, you can have a border, you can have a very colorful card that has foil on it. You can cut out your die cuts and use them after you foil them, and you can color your cinnamons. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please come back and see me, and don't forget, please subscribe. Bye.